a lot of them are very numb to, you know, the stuff that's gone on the last, you know, what, going on 9 months now, going on the better part of a year. I mean, between that, the events of the summer with the George Floyd, you know, murder, and the protests from Black Lives Matter, and, you know, the counter protests, and the way that which people were treated that were protesting, or, you know, throughout the summer, a lot of people felt that the events of yesterday were met, that they, being people of color, they thought that if they had done the same thing as the protesters yesterday, that they would have been met with harsher violence. I tell my students often that they are the future's primary sources. I mean, whether or not it's themselves looking back on the events as older people, or whether or not it's, you know, a historian 100 years from now doing the same thing that we're doing now. Like, you guys are the primary sources. Put some stuff down in writing. It can't all just be video, which that is a wonderful medium, but write some stuff down, basically, you know?
They're getting into the Capitol tonight. They're getting in there.
During fourth block, as I was able to check the news in between third and fourth block and saw that things were unfolding in the way that they were, I decided for myself and for my students that I owed them the opportunity to watch what was occurring. I was a senior in high school during 9/11, and our principal ordered a television, radio, computer blackout. And I always felt as a student that we were denied an opportunity to essentially watch history unfold. And students were very just kind of glued in with the images. And I took about 10, 15 seconds per image before I clicked on the next one. I said nothing. And at the very end, I had a small little slide that said, create a poem, a 5-line poem entitled "Today at the Capitol."
When you're planning everything, you're thinking in the back of your mind, be very careful. You don't want to say this. Is there going to be, who's going to call me out on a question between insurrection and a siege and this, and are we going to break down into that? I did notice I had 3 or 4 parents that made their way into the distance learning videos this morning. And so in the back of your mind, you are wondering, you're like, are you listening because you're finding this fascinating and interesting? Or are you listening because you want to question everything that I'm saying or doing?